Title: Exploring the dangers of deep-sea expeditions, inside the Titanic submersible. OceanGate's Titan submersible, which took a trip to view the wreck of Titanic, is a prime example of the dangers of deep-sea exploration. Inhospitable and hostile, the North Atlantic Ocean posed a huge challenge to the team, with the pressure increasing by the equivalent of 1 atmosphere for every 10 meters deeper they went. Entanglement hazards, falling temperatures, and loss of power could all lead to catastrophic failure. Despite expert warnings, OceanGate persisted with their Titanic mission, raising concerns about the lack of industry oversight in deep-sea expeditions. The risks of these operations continue to make them exciting, yet perilous adventures. Title: Expiration of alcohol restrictions in Alice Springs results in sharp rise in domestic violence reports. A senior doctor at Alice Springs Hospital has testified at the coronial inquest into the death of 34-year-old Kumunjai Haywood, describing the sudden and devastating impact the expiration of intervention-era alcohol restrictions had on emergency department staff. Dr. Richard Johnson said the number of domestic violence-related assaults increased by 77% at the end of 2022, following the lifting of alcohol restrictions in Central Australia. Though new restrictions have since been introduced, the impact on staff morale and recruitment remains an ongoing challenge. The coroner heard that alcohol is not the cause of domestic and family violence, but rather an enabler. Siblings charged in connection with brother's alleged stabbing in Broken Hill. A man, Dwayne Henderson, is in critical condition at the Royal Adelaide Hospital after being allegedly stabbed by his brother, Kyle Ross Henderson, in Broken Hill. Kyle and his sister, Alina Marie Henderson, have been arrested and charged in connection with the incident. The court heard that Alina offered to delete the surveillance footage from the home. Both siblings are charged with intending to pervert the course of justice and hindering an investigation. Kyle is also charged with grievous bodily harm with intent. A third person, Megan Bock, has been charged with hindering an investigation, accessory after the fact, and concealing an indictable offence. Man who used single payphone to harass women across Australia jailed for almost 5 years. A man from Geraldton, Australia has been jailed for 4 years and 6 months after he harassed women across the country for nearly a decade. Christopher Andrew Anderson, a business owner, pleaded guilty to almost 30 charges, including using a carriage service to menace, harass, or cause offence, using an optical surveillance device to record a private act, and performing obscene acts in public. He made offensive phone calls to more than 10 different women from a single payphone, identifying himself as Peter and saying he was a secret admirer. Anderson was also found to be in possession of child exploitation material and cannabis. Title: Australia's housing crisis worsens as tens of thousands of homes remain missing. Description: Australia's property market is expected to continue its upward trajectory as a chronic lack of supply and increased demand for housing persist. The sudden increase in migration has further driven the housing shortage, with rents rising sharply, adding to inflation. The federal government's Housing Australia Future Fund was designed to provide an investment vehicle financing the construction of 30,000 new social and affordable dwellings over the next 5 years. However, the housing bill has stalled in the Senate. The government will now give all states and territories combined a total of $2 billion to build more homes. Publication date: Friday, 23 June 2023, 9 hours 44 minutes and 1 second plus 0000 hashtags. Title: Family of man fatally shot by police calls for mental health reforms. The family of Todd McKenzie, who was fatally shot by police during a schizophrenic episode in 2019, hopes that reforms will come out of his inquest. The family believes that better support must be given to people during mental health crises. Mackenzie's stepfather says that the proceeding was very tough for the family. He and Mackenzie's mother hope that small changes will be made to police procedures to avoid such an experience. The National Justice Project, who represented Mackenzie's mother and stepfather during the coronial inquest, hopes to see a cultural change in New South Wales police and more cooperative approaches between mental health professionals and the police. Title: Broome woman jailed for 5 years after tragic incident. A Broome woman, Tamara Lorimer, has been sentenced to 5 years in jail after being found guilty of manslaughter for reversing her car over her partner while under the influence of alcohol. The tragic incident took place in the couple's driveway and resulted in the death of Lorimer's partner. The sentencing judge acknowledged that the incident was a tragedy with no winners. The case is a sobering reminder of the dangers of driving under the influence of alcohol and the severe consequences that can result. Our thoughts go out to all those affected by this tragedy. WA coroner finds foul play in the death of Perth mother Avetta Mitchell, who vanished in 2010. WA's deputy coroner has ruled a Perth woman who disappeared 13 years ago is dead, but has been unable to make a determination about how she died. Avetta Mitchell was last seen in early May in 2010, after an argument with her husband Chad Mitchell at their Parmelia home. Despite extensive police investigations, Ms. Mitchell's body has never been found, and nobody has been charged in connection with her disappearance. Deputy Coroner Sarah Linton said she is satisfied beyond reasonable doubt Ms. Mitchell died on the night of her disappearance, and that someone responsible for her death had hindered attempts to find her body. Source: Bus full of children from Victorian school runs off-road in regional SA. A bus carrying 42 children and 5 staff members from a Victorian school ran off the road and became bogged in a paddock north of Adelaide. The driver, a 53-year-old man from Victoria, has been charged with driving without due care and driving a heavy vehicle while fatigued. Thankfully, no one on the bus was injured in the incident. The driver was bailed to appear in the Kadina Magistrates Court on August 21. Title: Malaysia charges 4 Thais over mass graves found in 2015. Malaysia charges 4 Thai nationals under anti-trafficking laws in connection with the 2015 discovery of mass graves believed to contain the remains of Rohingya Muslims and Bangladeshis. The 4 were among 10 Thai citizens the Malaysian government had sought for extradition in 2017 over the tragedy at Wong Kalian in northern Perlis state. After cooperating with Thai authorities, the 4 men were caught and extradited to Malaysia to face charges. The discovery of the abandoned jungle camps used by human traffickers exposed hidden networks of jungle camps run by human smugglers who held people captive while extorting ransoms from their families. Critical shortage of midwives forces closure of Whyalla Hospital birthing services. Whyalla Hospital will suspend birthing services from June 26 due to a critical midwifery workforce shortage. The Flinders and Upper North Local Health Network's chief executive, Craig Packard, confirmed that the women who were due to deliver would have to find alternative locations. They are currently working to recruit qualified staff to reinstate birthing services as soon as possible. In the meantime, antenatal and postnatal services would still be available at the hospital, and medical staff would be present to respond to maternal emergencies. According to the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation, South Australia will need 15,000 nurses and midwives by 2025. Australia imposes travel bans and sanctions against 3 men over MH17. Australia has imposed travel bans and sanctions against 3 men for their roles in the downing of flight MH17, which killed 298 people, including 38 Australian citizens and residents, in 2014. 2 Russians and a Ukrainian were convicted of murder last year after a court in the Netherlands found that they helped procure the surface-to-air missile launcher that hit the plane. The new sanctions target 2 of the convicted men, as well as Sergei Muchkayev, a colonel with the Russian armed forces and the commander of the anti-aircraft missile brigade that supplied the missile. The move is likely to further inflame tensions between Australia and Russia. Link